Hello Virgo, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your November tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love connection, at your career and workspace, and we'll get you some guidance from the universe on how to best utilize the energies of the months. At the end, I'm gonna pull some cards from your person of interest to yourself, and to begin with, I'm gonna start with an oracle deck, and today it's gonna be Whispers of the Ocean. Let's dive right in. Of course, if you're interested to know more about what I'm doing, please check out my website, mindfulbamboo.com. I have a blog on wellness and mindfulness over there, and also you can book my personal services over there. And we've got a card for you, Virgo. And if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, to share it on your social networks, to add a comment. Let me know what you like, what you'd like to see more of. Maybe there are specific questions that you have or formats that you like me to explore. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so your card is Total Submersion, number 32. Don't be afraid to totally immerse yourself in a project, interest, or goal. Give it 100% of your energy, and you may find what your life has been lacking. So some interesting project either is already in your surrounding, in your environment, on your mind, or it's somewhere around the corner. So this is like a message like, beware. Something exciting is around the corner. Something to be excited about, Virgo. And as for immersing yourself, 100% of yourself to the project, I think Virgo is actually very, very good at it naturally. So I have no doubt that you're just gonna jump on it. Yeah, just make sure, I'm getting for some Virgos, because you guys like, keeping to your routine, keeping to your usual lifestyle, day in, months out, day out. It might be tempting to kind of put it off or try to go very slowly, very safely. So it's not what being asked here. This is going to be the part where you will be stepping outside of your comfort zone, where you will be asked to give it your full attention, to give it your full priority, which means, of course, that you will need to deprioritize some other things on your schedule, in your calendar, in your plan, and that could be an issue. But yeah, let's see what tarot is going to give us here. November is traditionally a month of transformation because it's, for the most part, Scorpio season, and the tarot card of Scorpio, in the tarot card that symbolizes Scorpio, is death and rebirth. Another one is Judgment, which kind of has a similar meaning. It's about ascension. It's about getting that insight, enlightenment that kind of completely changes your worldview. I remember that, I think it's the Spellcaster's deck, where the Judgment card is actually the person is kind of like full of fire and coming out of a big pot that sits on fire, which basically means rebirth as well, right? So it's kind of a big deal. We're also, right now, as I'm recording this, we're in the middle of an eclipse season, which amplifies all these transformational energies for each of us, really. And of course, each of us is impacted differently, but we know that we all are being shown some new aspects of our personality and of the world around us and how things work there. So just be mindful of that, and don't freak out if something like that is happening in your reality. It was kind of in the stars. And what else can I say about it? Yeah, the challenging part is going to be to sort of step outside of your comfort zone and think outside the box. And I mean, in terms of practical things for you, Virgo. Speaking of which, we have Six of Swords for your relationship. Then we have Five of Swords. That's an interesting sequence. Let me move the table a little bit so you can see the cards better. And Four of Cups. Yep, kind of a puzzle, kind of a bit of a pathetic energy I'm getting actually. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a moment. For your career space, we have Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, Five of Wands. Wow. Yeah, my timing card, Three of Swords in this case, is telling me that the changes are gonna come in pretty quickly. So swords are the fastest energy. So this is usually talking about days, 3 days. For a lot of you, 3 days post seeing this message, you're gonna be experiencing these changes. Advice, Six of Cups, Five of Cups. Wow, going back. So all of these cards, it's sequence is going back. Two of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. Yeah, going back to your truth, back to basics I'm hearing, back to the core of the problem. It's very interesting. It's almost like, you know, a lot of times we're hearing, especially in spiritual practices, stay in the present, do not look to the past. You know, like it's important to stay in the now, because nothing good is gonna come out of just revisiting, rethinking, reanalyzing the past. And that's what happens a lot of times. So don't just recall it as a happy memory, you know, as actually what you're being asked to do in Six of Cups here. A lot of times we're remembering something and then we start thinking, well, maybe I should have done or said something differently. Or if this or this didn't happen, then it could have gone much better. Something along those lines. So we oftentimes have regrets, whether we like to admit it or not. We have regrets about what has happened in the past. We have some sadness and sorrow, which is also what you have here. So it's very important as we see the sequence, and you will be driven towards memories from your childhood or even from the past experiences. For example, if this new something is a new project or a new job, you will be thinking, what happened the last time I tried doing something like that, right? That's what I mean. So it's important not to go back in order to beat yourself up, or don't let it stop you from following your dreams, your projects, your passion, right? You will be guided towards your memories mostly for the purpose of remembering the important information from there, so that you can use it as lessons learned in this new endeavor, and you can do better, you can be wiser, you can be kinder, you know, those kind of things, because you've matured now, right? You are a different person, you're in a different energy vibration, and of course whatever this new thing is going to work out for you differently. But this is like an extra, if you wish, like an extra safety net, where you're also given this new perspective on what you did last time and how can you do things differently to achieve a better or a faster outcome this time around, so that you don't have to be in that Albert Einstein situation where, you know, some people are doing the same things but are expecting a different result. So it's not just about blind faith and believing that somehow this time is going to be different. It's about knowing what can you do differently, at least from the part that depends on you, right? Because there's always some stuff that doesn't depend on us, and it's important to recognize that. Yes, there will be other people involved, there will be the divine will that you cannot necessarily impact, right? But you can impact your part, what depends on you, what you contribute to the project. And that's where you can make your plan, you know, and go through with it. So in your relationships, we see actually that apathetic energy that I mentioned, and you will be, it's almost like there's nothing exciting happening at this time, so you are driven towards certain memories of the past where things were more exciting. The spirit is telling you that not having that kind of thrill, that kind of drama, this is more drama actually than thrill, is not a bad thing actually. It's what you have now is a lot more stable, and it's something where you see, like in this particular deck, you have two co-pilots basically. It's like a dirigible and two co-pilots. You're the co-pilots with your person, right? And it's very good when you've taken your mastery of driving this thing to a certain extent where you can relax. You can almost like have it going on autopilot because you know exactly which settings to use, right? Or you know exactly when you're supposed to start paying attention to take a turn or something, to change the altitude or whatever it is. That's kind of a similar situation. So if anything, it's giving you an opportunity to focus on something of your own, of your personal interest. So don't take it as a negative if that's how you're gonna feel at some point. So some of you might be suspecting some sort of deceit, or maybe a person cheating on you. You know, it's kind of like if they're not spending a lot of time arguing with you, then probably they're off doing something with someone else. No, it's not like that. I mean, it could be true that they're also busy with something else in life, but it's nothing to worry about. It's nothing disturbing about anyone being dishonest or unfaithful. It's more that the universe is clearing this space for you where A, you can feel safe, that you don't have to worry about your relationship, B, that you actually have energy and time for this project. And moving towards career space, we have 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords, and 5 of Wands. Yeah, so I'm getting here that you will see once again that some of your dreams have been shattered, some of your plans have failed, and the important part to recognize is that it's not necessarily that you didn't have the right people. It's an interesting message. It's not necessarily that you didn't have the right people for the job individually. Like, individually, they were all good specialists, but they couldn't work as a team. And that's the problem. And that happens all the time, right? So again, this is for you not to kind of, 3 of Swords is the heartache, right? It's the pain. In this deck, I'm treating it as a lot more practical card where, you know, and for the workspace, I think it's really relevant where the mechanism of this teamwork, like, you know, if you picture it as a big mechanism, is a lot of cogwheels, something is not working right. And you need a mechanic, or maybe you're a mechanic to fix it, right? So you're taking your experience into account, like when did it start going off track, or under what conditions is it actually wearing itself out, right? So you kind of approach it as a scientist to see what has worked, what hasn't worked, and to work out, like, maybe I need to actually replace some parts and have the new parts made of other materials that will not wear off quickly, right? Or maybe my device is impacted by the elements, and so I need something waterproof on top so that it is not impacted by, I don't know, water, like rain or snow anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you will draw important information from the previous experience so you don't let it happen. But a very strong message for a lot of you I'm getting is that it wasn't your fault. It wasn't the fault of a specific person not doing their job. They all did it to their best ability, but it's just that this combination of people didn't work out well. And yeah, combination of people, for some of you it could even be you and that other person, because if you're thinking, oh, it's not for me because it's only me and I work directly with clients, you know, as an entrepreneur, for example, yeah, that also counts as at least 2 people. That's what I mean here, right? That can already be counted as a team. And I know that that's a little bit stretched, but you can actually apply it to the someone who's providing a service and client relationship, right? Like, for example, it's not about the client has complained and, doesn't want to work with you anymore, or they want a refund even for the services you provided, for example, right? And you may be thinking, well, I must be doing something wrong, right? Like, you start doubting yourself, or you become angry at the person that they just don't get it. But the thing is that it's not your fault, it's not their fault, but you had different visions for what is it, like different expectations for the outcome, right? That's another angle to look at it. You didn't talk through enough level of details. And that's how maybe you didn't sign a contract and that was necessary with this specific client. Maybe you've done it before a million times without having to go through paperwork, and now it didn't work out. A million, and the time that was a million and first time, it didn't work out that way. And now you know that actually it's good to invest a little bit of time into paperwork, but have it on paper so you don't have this headache and you don't have a hit on your reputation potentially, right? In that example. Okay, moving on for the advice. So yeah, like I was saying, so again, we see the sequence with 6 of Cups and then 5 of Cups, and also see 2 of Swords. So the main advice is, when you're going back in time and remembering certain events, whether it's for your personal life or professional, do not get stuck in it for the purpose of like self-doubt, self-criticism, or punishing someone else or blaming someone else for your sorrows, for your unhappiness. It's important to draw on that experience. It's also important not to go to the extreme where you either just rely blindly on faith that everything is gonna work out, or another extreme where you feel like everything needs to be calculated in advance, right? This is like finding that golden mean, finding that balance. And you see this is a ballerina dancer in this deck. Finding that balance where you're actually drawing on both, right? Like, she has the swords are about logical thinking. There's also the moon here, which is about listening to intuition. We also have the full moon coming in on November 8th, and because it's a lunar eclipse, the energy is going to linger for quite a while. So this is another reminder for you to tune into your intuition during this time, so that you can get guidance from within, not just from the factual information that you have at hand. Okay, let's get some messages for Virgo for their person of interest. Okay, here we have, I left because you told me to, sex. So yeah, what I'm getting is there was some sort of communication between you two, that the most exciting part that's happened between you two lately is sex, or something like, it doesn't have to be actually sex, but something along those lines, right? Maybe the drama I'm hearing for some people. Like, it also like is a turn on. That adrenaline could be a turn on for some people, and that's not good enough. So either one of you actually raised it as an argument that doesn't sound like a healthy relationship, like something that can last long term. That was at least the idea of it, and now there is certain regret about that. That's what I'm getting. Uncommon trust. Gossip only hurts more. Yeah, so a lot of that either sadness or anger, and I'm getting like a mixture of the two really, for a person was caused by other people impacting their opinion. But now there is it's come full cycle for them as well. So now they can also reconsider which one of those feelings and emotions was theirs and which ones were imposed by other people. So this uncommon trust, this is the Magician card in this deck. And what I'm getting with your person is that they are deciding, because they've been impacted by other people and their opinions, and it hasn't worked out very well for the two of you. They're now deciding to take matters into their own hands and be that magician for their story, for your love story. So yeah, they have an intention to make an effort and to try to create the happy future for the two of you. They are not sure, that's what I'm getting, they're not sure this time whether it's actually going to work out or not, but they're willing to put in effort and to work on it. Okay, I hope this has been useful for Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.